guess you'll pass me the baton.
I am passing you the baton, but I do want to say hello to
yes.
our beautiful couple, the Backers, and always happy to see you. You both look amazing as always.
Matching.
Matching. I know. I was paying it. That was the first thing I noticed. How they are matching. Okay.
Absolutely.
And Johnny, you know they're gonna get stabbed with so many questions because it just amazes me how these two work together, and it's like a choir. They're always in tune. I mean, I'm around them enough, Johnny,
right.
And you know that, for me to know. It's like I know what time they're going to bed. I know which one gets up first because I get the text from Captain because he's up and ready, and then I could hear Magali in the background, calling. But truly, guys, it's an honor for me to have you guys on this segment of the show, Dr. Backer. Johnny, we must release you because you do have to celebrate your Valentine's. You do deserve to celebrate, Johnny.
Okay, madame. Le beau est malé.
Vous savez, monsieur marié, tu as une femme, vous comprenez? Va trouver ta femme.
Eh ben, ok. Merci, Mona Lisa.
En attendant, moi-même, je can do whatever I want. I can arrêter in the show as long as I want.
Okay.
They'll be my company. And again, it's a pleasure again to have the Backers on Health Matters as we wait for Dr. Benoit, but it is a wonderful and a pleasure and an honor for me to work with you guys, not just during the normal work hours that we function, but to have you again, once again on the Mojo Show. The Mojo Show is your house. This is your house. You can knock on the door. You don't even have to knock. Just come in. Just come in. You got the link to the Zoom. You can just come in anytime. But I truly, truly, truly want to know your secrets because there are certain secrets. Although I've stayed over at your guys' house, when I come to Washington, I don't have to go stay at a hotel because I got my own room in your house. And I hope I still have those privileges that they weren't taken away from me.
You do.
Dr. Backer, hello. Do I still have those privileges?
Yes, you do. You do.
Did Captain remove them? Captain, did you remove them because I was late with my part of the project?
So there's a room there that has your name on it. So
thank you. I just wanted to confirm. As long as that's confirmed,
when you go to the hospital, they have like pavilion here, pavilion there. They put name of people with pavilion name. So it's the same.
Yeah.
We have wings in this house.
But these people, they've actually contributed. They've contributed. I don't know. Is that contribution? That from the work that you and I have done, outside of what we do, either
no, that's contribution you're gonna be done. No, that's contribution you're gonna be doing in the future.
Oh, that's for future contribution. My God. Wow. Interesting. But I'm ready. I have the energy. But again, I on behalf of the audience, I want to wish you guys a happy Valentine's Day as a couple. I call you guys the power couple. And it amazes me every single day that I work with you guys. Like, how do you do it? Because one thing that amazes me also is how sometimes you guys can disagree. How you can, as a couple, you manage to, and I'm seeing the discussion. We're in the middle of, you're like, Mag, but Mag. No, Mag. And I'm like, oh my God, I hope this is not going to break their marriage. But so please tell us the secrets. How have you guys been able to maintain your marriage, your relationship? But before we even go into that, because that's rather on the deep end, I want to stay on the surface by allowing you to individually first introduce yourself, although you kind of nous passez de présentation, c'est vrai. Et à cause du travail, nous, parce que si on qui pas connaît les Backers dans Diaspora, on pas connaît côté yote, dans qui yote. Vous comprenez, vous dites the Backers, Washington, I mean, everybody knows, tout le monde déjà connaît. Mais il se peut bien que grand monde à l'autre bout du monde, c'est pour la première fois que le web coupe ça, power couple ça. Je suis toujours dit à nous chita là, comme on dit, nous bien belles, en mauve, ensemble, looking so good. Tant pis, introduit nous séparément, professionnellement, qui est-ce nous y est, qui ça nous fait. Et puis, how did we bring those two power, individuals to form this power couple that I have sitting here in front of this audience? Ladies first, Dr. Backer, I'm going to start with you, and then you can pass your husband the mic after that.
Yes. Oh, well, I'm Magali Emile Becker. And I guess by professional training, I'm a drug development researcher, but passionately, I'm a public servant. I am a community organizer. I've been in love with my community probably since the 4th grade. So I can't remember. I was born in Haiti. Yeah, I was born in Haiti, but I grew up in New York. And I can't remember. I think my first real connection, obviously growing up in Brooklyn, the Haitian community is quite strong, but just being involved with dancing, folkloric dance, and just that exposure and introduction to Haitian culture. And I have a very large family in New York, and we spend a lot of time together. So you just pick up all of those typical Caribbean, nuances that you don't really know exist until you go away to college and you're outside of that specific space. And then you realize, wow, I am really Haitian.
Wow.
So wow. For me, I think the love of culture and self kind of are intertwined because your culture shapes who you are. Mm. And as a result of that, you find yourself looking for or creating this image of what would my counterpart look like, right? And obviously, a lot of women, we create these lists, right? And so those checklists should, for the most part, mirror your values, whether it be cultural, spiritual, religious, educational. I mean, we have this long list, right? But at the end of the day, it's the identity and the self-love that sort of dictates who you fall in love with and who you, for the most part, end up with. And so I always say, my mom, when I was single for a while, and my mom was like, "Oh, you all into this Haiti stuff. C'est just volunteer, Haiti. And my aunt told her, Magali pral trouve Marili en dan ba Haiti sa. Ou pa bezwen inquieto. And essentially that's what happened. So I'll stop there and then Furman can say what he's going to say.
Thank you, Dr. Backer. But before your husband introduces himself, I certainly want to acknowledge the presence of our beloved host for Health Matters every second Sunday of the month. We have the opportunity, we have the privilege and the honor of having Dr. Marcel Benoit, a man qui, comme nous capables de dire, qui passe de présentation dans la communauté panouan, qui contribue intellectuellement, qui contribue financièrement. He's a lover of Haiti. He's a lover of the diaspora, just like you guys, which is why Dr. Backer, you're put in this particular segment. And he's also already taken the vaccine. And trust me, that's where the connection was made for. I said, there's no appropriate segment rather than have you on the second part with Johnny and I. But I said, you know what? Perfect. Spot will be with Dr. Benoit, because you definitely have a topic in common. You have something that you guys both are, extremely interested in, especially during this pandemic. But again, for the sake of Valentine's Day, we did say that we're also going to focus on how you guys as a couple managed to work together. Dr. B, welcome to Health Matters, your own segment. You should be welcoming me because I was substituting for you.
Yes.
Let me know, if you wish for me to stay, but technically this is
I was caught in traffic. But anyway, yes. It's never too late to wish all of you the beautiful Mona Lisa. You have such a beautiful name. Happy Valentine, and I wish Dr. Backer and her husband also happy Valentine. All the love in the world to all of you.
Thank you, Doc. Thank you. So they were at the point of introducing themselves. Dr. Backer just introduced herself, and it's time for her husband to take over so he can introduce himself as an individual. What he does professionally before we really get into the meat of the conversation about how they manage to work together as a couple with all the multiple projects that they do, you know, outside of their own professional lives as individual. Because, and I'm looking at her, she's a scientist, and husband is an engineer, he's a teacher, he's everything, but yet in the name of the love for Haiti, for the diaspora, they do so many other things. And I'm concerned on Valentine's Day, how does that affect their relationship, or what keeps them, you know, so binded so closely together? As you can see, Doc, they're both wearing the same color, they're matching as a couple. So I'm gonna let you lead that conversation, Doc. You know, I can still sit on the set with you guys, or I can get off the set and let you have your privacy, but this is truly a show, Doc. So I'll just be an observer from this point on. So it's really your turn with Dr. Benoit, and I'm gonna let you guys carry on. Okay.
So, good evening, Dr. Becker, and welcome to the Mojo Show. So, we are almost here, a family, and we all have a common interest, the interest for the betterment for Haiti. So today that we have you and your husband, and it is quite an appropriate time to unveil to the community how your relationship as husband and wife have really solidified your love for one another, and also your goals for the homeland, which is Haiti.
Yes, thank you so much. Did you want to say something?
Yeah. Well, good evening. Well, I am. I should say a regular on the show. It's not my first time, but I will reintroduce myself again for those who have not heard who I am. I'm Fermin Baker. I am an engineer by trade, but my professional career, I do what we call intellectual property examination. Let me just put that in lay term. It's like for people who come up with a new idea or with an invention. Usually what happens is that in order for you to get the right to that invention, you need to apply for a protection. So what I do is, like, when we receive those applications in my agency, so we look at whether or not the idea is now based on research that we do to make that determination, either to approve it or to reject it. So that's what I do on a daily basis. So it's just like if you have a property, it can be a car or a house, you need to have a title to that property. So it's the same for intellectual property as well. Once you develop that, or once you have that product, you have to have a paper that says that you are the one that developed that came up with that idea. Therefore, you are therefore the right to that idea is titled to you for a period of time. And a lot of people are used to copyright that they do for letters or song or art. But me, I'm on the other side. I'm on the technological side of things. And really, I know a lot of people these days know about through Bitcoin or cryptocurrency. I know all these terms that people have heard of them. So the area that I examine invention is in that particular sector itself. So that's professionally, but outside of that, I have my passion as well. I've been a community organizer for all my life. So, and that's where I learn all my trade, all my skills, all my leadership skills is within the community. So, and I think that's what brought us together, is because of the love that we have for community or organization and community work. That's how we met, and that's what keep us together ever since we've been together, and we've been doing a lot for the community, and we will continue to do a lot for the community as well.
That's good. That's very good. Now, there are two things I like to really to you to talk about, because we are and this month is a month of Black History Month, whereby that we acknowledge a lot of Black inventors, a lot of Blacks who have contributed so much to to the American society and to the world at large. Now, have you ever crossed during your career? I mean, how many Haitians have you crossed with new invention? Haitian inventors. We have a couple of them. Haitian inventors. Have you encountered any new Haitian inventors that really startle your mind, that you said, "Wow, that's a real joy to have a Haitian inventor"?
Actually, yes. In fact, that there's one I was just talking to him today, actually, and we've been going back and forth. And beside him, from time to time, I receive a call from a Haitian who invents something, and they have the application there, and they wanted some information. And then, yeah, I provide information to them. But because that, could come back to the one that I was talking about. But beside that, from time to time, I am called upon, and from people in Haiti as well, to give lecture or to do presentation on intellectual property, because we have a lot of youngsters in Haiti, particularly in the technological world, that are developing a lot of the product. And I always stress the fact that they need to protect their invention, because if they don't do that, somebody else can steal whatever they do. This one that I'm talking to, he has a patent, and he developed a translation tools where that oh, there it is.
We lost reception.
Yeah, we got disconnected just for a little bit. Yeah, what he developed is an application to do live simultaneously translation via a phone call. Let's say that you call up somebody like in Germany, and you speak English and the person does not speak English and you don't speak German. Throughout the app, while you're talking, it does a translation, a live translation as you're talking with the person. I mean, I'm speaking English and the person is listening to it in German, or the person can be talking German. I am listening to it in English, which is really revolutionary, because one of my complaints I always have all the time, particularly with WhatsApp or Messenger, I said, how is it that I type a message in English and just pick the language that I want the person who's receiving it to receive it in their own language? And that's not something that exists, because you really have to get the translation from a different app to type it into the WhatsApp in order for the person to understand it. So what this Haitian guy did actually is allow, from his platform, is to allow people to do live simultaneous translation instantly. And that's really good. It's like, I am happy that it is a Haitian guy that
that's very, very refreshing, very refreshing, very refreshing. But again, you point something that is really really significant for Haiti to prosper, for Haiti to move from the technological infancy that it found itself to get advanced. Haiti has to embrace technology.
Yes.
And the new Haiti gonna be a Haiti with technology. And we have, as you said, we have a lot of youngsters in Haiti. They're really attuned with the technology, but they don't have the support. They don't have the encouragement. They don't have the funds to do that. So being a community organizer, being a lecturer, how you think that you can help those youngsters in Haiti to embrace technology as a backbone that can advance Haiti down the line?
Yes, indeed, that there are a few initiatives in Haiti. One's called Alpha, that the government established years ago. And there's another one at Benj, I think, that where they do incubator for youngsters who have ideas, wants to develop technology. Alpha, that's basically what they do. It's just technology. I've been to Haiti and I've visited their location, and you see those youngsters are there with their computer, and they are developing whatever ideas has come into their mind. There's no limit to actually what they do, what they can develop. As long as they have a good idea, they give them the resources and the platform to develop it. One thing I always say about Haiti regarding technology, Haiti can become a developed nation in an instant. The reason why is that the advancement that most of the advancement world have in technology, Haiti just can take that and adapt it, develop the infrastructure and adapt it. Case in point, now that we're talking about 5Gs, and Haiti has just given, the license for 4Gs. And I'm saying, why are you giving a license for 4G when the developed nations are talking about 5G? In fact, China is starting developing 6Gs. You should not give a license for 4Gs. You should give a license for 6G. I mean, not for 6G.
5Gs.
Give a license for 5Gs, because that's where you are. So you can jump easily from 2Gs, from 3G, or from 0G to 5Gs, because it's not that you have to start from 1, 2, 3, and then 4, because it's once you have the equipment, you can upgrade easily. It's like you buying a computer laptop today, and then you want to buy a laptop that was built in 2010 when you in 2020. No, you buy the latest technology. That always says that Haiti has an advantage that even the United States does not have that advantage, because the backbone has already been built, so they build it on top of it. But we can easily move to the new equipment to come up to adapt ourselves to the new technology, and it will make a lot of sense.
You see, as you speak, I can feel the love that you have for the country. I can feel it. I can feel that you are.
C'est premier family.
I can see
that all the time.
I see that the warm positivity that you have for the country, and it's good. And as you're speaking now, and I said, wow, the jewel of Haiti is outside the country.
Yes.
Look at you here, who could have helped the country so much move ahead, but you're obliged to be here because of the circumstances. Otherwise, I can see you tomorrow, get on the plane and go to Haiti. I can see you. I can see you. Yeah.
I used to do that back before COVID. I used to do that 4 or 5 times a year.
Yeah.
That I am called either to go for a meeting or to come and do a lecture. I buy my ticket and I go and fly. I am, and me and my wife and the both of us, we are passionate about the country because we see the potential.
Wow.
And we see the potential, and I always it's not rocket science, really. And I always tell everybody, the problems of Haiti are not difficult to solve at all. In fact, I always look at it, I say, it's easy. It just takes a certain level of leadership to say, this is what we're gonna do, and this is how we're gonna do it. And that's
vision, and vision. Because the examples that there's so many templates, say, choisi une, copier. And you know, of course, you put it within the context of the country, certain, you know, cultural aspects, but you don't need to, I think and you know, it's not meant for us to drive this conversation to the politics and stuff of Haiti, but I do believe that it is the love of our country that keeps us grounded and keeps us focused on the work that we do, A, B, us not giving up, because it's not easy. I mean,
it's not easy,
was saying, we know couples that have gotten divorces because of Haiti. So it's really, I mean, you know, girls say they from Kitty, Betty Marie in Haiti, or Betty Madame Wena. But usually it's Betty Marie in Haiti. So I call Haiti Femme Sa. Haiti son femme qui capra mari.
That's true. But you see, what I like about the both of you is that you coalesce your passion together, and that will create a bond that is solid. Now, usually the problem is that in Haiti, the husband is engaged in Haiti and the wife is left here, and that's the problem.
And I have to share that with you, because one thing we know, it's a fact, couples fight. And most of our fight are not about like, oh, you to bring me, oh, you to do this for me. It's about Haiti.
It's about fights.
And it's not about like, women to us or Haiti, women. No. It's about what we're gonna do, how we're gonna do it. My wife always have these grandiose ideas. I'm the one to bring her, say, okay, this is how it happen. No, you can do it. I said, no, it doesn't. It's always about strategy, how to develop either a program or either something for it, because we're looking at it from from two different lenses. Because I grew part of my life in Haiti. She was born in Haiti, but grew most of her life here. So there's some aspect that I know, and because I am involved a lot in the politics and development aspect of it, so there are a lot of nuances that I should say that I know, and there are some she knows, but she doesn't know. But I think that because of her level of thinking and my level of practicality, we complement one another.
That's very, because let me tell you, your wife is probably very idealistic.
Yes,
I am.
Very idealistic, and I always say that Haiti is a book for you to read from chapter 1 to the last chapter, because whatever you know is not, it may not be applicable to Haiti. So many people living in the diaspora, they have that beautiful idea about Haiti, and they think that, and they feel that whatever they see here, they can use it as a template to use it to be in back home. Back home is a different story. You must have that. You must know the terrain well, just like you, and that's good. I think that your relationship is beautiful because you complement each other, right? She may have a grandiose idea, and probably you try to bring it down a little bit, but always you maintain her concept. You said that, well, you maintain the same concept, but you bring it down a little bit more realistic.
Exactly.
I believe that as part of great leadership comes vision that sometimes doesn't appear realistic. Our ancestors have this crazy notion of being free.
That's correct. Yeah, true.
And so I guess I'm one of those people that, yeah, I get what Furman says sometimes about, being too idealistic, but I see, and it may not be in my lifetime, I pray it is, but I see a great Haiti. And so that has to drive what I do, because if not, then un jour m'a levé m'a dit okay, c'est fait du temps. And for a lot of diaspora that feel that way, right? And so it's just like anything in life. You wake up and you say, why do I get up and go to work? Okay, whether it's your bills or whatever, but most people are in their positions of work because there's something drawing them to that, right?
Mm-hmm.
We'll do something every day and not feel like there's some kind of return on your investment. And so where the hope is lost is when you can no longer see that little vision of hope and some return on your investment for the last 20, 30, 40, 50 years that you've been working. And so like some of our mentors who have been in this fight for a long time, and they're like, I've been doing this for a long time. And then we're looking at them like, I don't want to be 60 years old, still saying, mes amis, Haiti était comme ça. And I always hear my mom having these like reminiscent kind of, oh, l'aime te lever cap, oh, pat ge fatra nan la rian, pat ge. And so there's this nostalgia that I feel that we can change, because a lot of the problems in Haiti, although we believe from a development standpoint may be complex, a lot of them are simple. My thing is, let's go for the low-hanging fruit and not give up. So although I can be la la land idealistic, I do believe that there are some practical lessons learned that we've learned here in the States and other countries that have gone through the same thing in development that Haiti or Rwanda. I mean, there are a lot of poor countries that are rising.
No, that's true. That's true. But you see, I am an avid lover of Haiti as well. I think that we share the same sentiments. But I always try my best to convey to people, and because I have a Facebook show that I put on every Tuesday and Saturday, and I always said that the only way that Haiti can be not saved, but at least we can rejuvenate Haiti again. We need a true leader. We need a leader, a benevolent leader, somebody who truly loves Haiti, who feel that Haiti is my mother, my father, and I cannot mistreat my mother and my father.
Yes.
So and looking at you now, and I see that the leadership of Haiti is hidden somewhere. It's somewhere, and
it's
we
in
need
all of us.
Exactly.
I believe it's in all of us.
We need that leadership to come out. And the problem we have in the diaspora is so disorganized because we don't have a unified leadership that said, okay, this is our agenda, this is what we want, this is going to be done. And the same thing in Haiti, as you can see. I don't want to get to interject into the politics, but the politics tells you the political fiasco in Haiti is because there's no leadership anywhere. So I think that we need that leadership. There's a thirst for that leadership in the diaspora and in Haiti, and I think that's probably what we need. And at the same time, we need to uplift the consciousness of the people. Tell them that it's time to wake up. Just like you said, Dr. Biker, that how do we think that our ancestors were so daring to seek for the freedom? Right? Yes. So we should say to our people, it's time. You have to be daring and say that we want a better life. We want a life that is suitable to like other people have.
Mm-hmm. You know, you mentioned leadership. I think leadership and having vision is important, but I would actually say that the number one thing that we need most in Haiti is love. Mm-hmm. Yes, it's V-Day and we want to talk about love, but I think love of country is so important, because when you speak to other diaspora members, they you get problem too.
Yeah.
Not bashing the country.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, you know, kind words, even in the midst of, so if you take if Haiti is your husband, let's say Ferment's Haiti. We know and we understand that Ferment's not perfect. Li ka gen an pile mess. I love him. So the way I see it is, okay, this person has problems up the kazoo, but me using words that belittle him is not really going to help the problem.
Sure.
If I find myself doing good things for him, I could change his nature. Mm-hmm. If I spend time with him on trying to change some of the things that I find are wrong, that could also help change, you know, the outcome that I would like to see, right? And so the return on the investment, I think, is very important when we're looking at Haiti, because sometimes we see that as, oh, you know, there's no leadership. It's a lot of time that we're wasting, pouring money into it. But if we, and we meaning the people of Haiti, the diaspora, the leaders, all of us, if we collectively are not in love with her, show her the love that she deserves, because this is a land that offered freedom.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
And that can never be taken away from her. Mm-hmm. And so no matter how frustrated I may be with défaut firme, I have to be able to say, okay, firme gen défaut, mais you cannot say that, oh, firme pas bon.
Sure.
This is where your language, your behavior, your mind, you know, everything that you put out there into the universe that is negative about your country, it impacts the country. And I don't think we understand that. If all your life you won't see Munar believe in a kayo do babon.
That's true. That definitely, yeah, that's true.
It's nurture. Yeah. And so it's not to say that the country doesn't have issues, because clearly we know it does. Mm-hmm. How can we move beyond the bashing of the country, the putting the negative energy out there on the country? Mm-hmm. And I get that there is a fatigue. Like Firma said, most of our arguments are about Haiti. And I think what we decided was that we would control so we spend a lot of time on Haiti, but then we carve out time and say, okay, we're not going to talk about Haiti this evening. So we might put on some dumb movie, whatever, and somehow the movie has nothing to do with Haiti. Mes amis, I got on bel pays. And I'm like, no, we gotta talk about it. Because, you know, when she's so much in your heart, and it does hurt. Yeah. You know, I don't want to minimize the pain that people have experienced, whether it was you know, kidnapping from you or whatever experience, because there have been experiences that people have had with Haiti that have been very, very, you know, you have to respect their position. And so that's why now, depuis on moun pasu Haiti or whatever, before I used to be the person trying to drag the horse to the water. Now I say, you know what, m comprend. Ou pa reme pays, ou pa vle al nan pays, pa gen problème, mais c'est pays, s'il vous plaît, pas parler pays.
There's one point that
and I call it, and I check people. I check the diaspora. Don't come to me bashing my country.
That's correct.
One point that I would like to make, and that's why that in this argument that I always see people say that, okay, monapalaiti, malaiti, bell. And I always point out the fact that what makes a country is not just the soil, the land, but it's the people. Yeah. And it's like when we a lot of time talk bad about Haiti, we're not talking about bad about the country itself, the fabric of the country itself, the history in the country itself. But we mainly talking about the people who are leading the country and who are making decisions to destroy the land that our forefathers have left for us. Because let's look at it, if this day and age in 2020, and let me take a classical example, this day and age 2020, our forefather left a soil that is fertile for us, with beautiful trees and this and that, and we allow people to cut down these trees and to make charcoal, where that we could have moved the country from a charcoal country to a natural gas country so that they wouldn't have to do that. So when you talk bad about that, it's not that the people who are cutting down tree of the charcoal, it's not because they're bad, but the people are making decisions for them to move them away from that. They have not made those sound decisions in order for the trees in the country to stay intact, so that we would not continuously see that we lost 98% of our forest. I think that's where that we have to look at. It's not that we want to talk bad about it, because when I'm talking about bad about Haiti, I don't talk bad about Haiti. I talk about the people in Haiti that are making bad decisions for the country. And I always make the difference, between the two.
Yeah. Now, another question I'd like to bring up. Now, as both of you are community organizers, what are the in terms of specificity in your agenda, what do you think that Haiti we need the most right now? What do you think that that you'll strive for to make sure that certain things, that particular agenda is implemented in Haiti?
Specific agendas. Well, I'll start back again with loving the country, being positive energy into the country, and then having a commitment or a recommitment to the country. Once you start with that point of reference, then we can sit down, put all personal agendas aside and say, okay, what do we believe from a baseline standpoint the country needs? Because when you ask l'homme de diaspora qui sa pays en besoin, you're going to get a lot of different answers, right? For me, it's going to be, healthcare is important. It's an education person, they're going to say that. So that battle, I mean, you can go running around the street over and over because Haiti needs so much. So I think in terms of prioritizing it, we always say, without infrastructure, bagay. So number one, infrastructure, because that is the foundation. That's like saying you're going to build a beautiful house. You're buying all the appliances and everything, but you don't have sheetrock, wow, you don't have nothing, but you buying appliances. No, you have to start with the baseline of infrastructure. Tout bagay te kaze nan 2010, 2010. Fine, clean it up, dig in the ground. Well, he's the engineer, he knows better than me. Dig in the ground, create a sewer pipeline system, create the electrical system. We need infrastructure because no country is going to be able to operate across all sectors without that foundation.
Sure.
Tout paquet billion qui a passé dans pays from between aid to whatever. It has to go in infrastructure.
Sure.
For me, I would say that the main thing, and then that we have alluded to that, and we have to do that, it's people. And when I say people, you need the leaders to set the tone and to give directions. And I'm gonna take an example of Dubai. I've been to Dubai and I've studied the history ever since the beginning up until now. And I always tell people, how did Dubai become what it is now? First of all, every time I'm talking about that, people say, well, Dubai has oil. No, Dubai does not have oil. Abu Dhabi has the oil, but it's the same, the federation. They have decided, the leadership, that's where I also look, they have decided, and when they look at the amount of oil they have and they see the longevity of it, they realize that they cannot build a society or an economy on oil only. So they have decided to build Dubai, which is about an hour and a half away from Abu Dhabi.
Abu Dhabi, yeah.
That a touristic or other attraction to bring in the funding that they need so that they can continue a really long life. So that's what I'm talking about. The leadership. The leaders look at what they have and they say, okay, we are going to do that. Okay, to the point that the last time that I was there, that they're making more money in tourism than that they have.
Yeah.
If you look at that in the Middle East, a lot of countries are looking at the success of Dubai, have decided to move their economy from an oil-based economy to other type like financials or in fact, I was reading now where the UAE have sent your navette Namas to explore that, which means that they're looking at other things as well to invest, because you know that investment will bring them a lot of return long term. It's the leadership that have looked and have decided, and we can take a lot of countries to see what the leaders did at that time and what is the return on investment. We can go back in 1804. The leaders decided we want to be free. Therefore, we are going to be free, and this is how we are going to do it. What we have here in Haiti, I always look at it as a lack of leadership. We need people to say that this is the direction we're going to go, and this is how we're going to get there. Just like I just gave you the example of 4Gs and 5Gs. The leadership decided they're going to give licenses for 5Gs. And look at it and said, if you are the different leader, they can look at it and say, no, I'm not going to give you 4G, no 4Gs. I'm not going to give you 4G. We're going to go to 5Gs because this is where the technology is. Somebody needs to make that decision. Somebody needs to take the leadership to say, this is the direction that we're going to go. And in my opinion, this is what it lacks. You can have the broad vision, you can have, but executing, implementing, it's what's lacking.
The diaspora can be the implementing arm, actually.
That's true.
Yeah. We have the technical expertise.
Yes.
That's true. That's true. But I'm looking at two people here, husband and wife. Do you ever see yourself as two leaders in the diaspora?
Yeah,
because
we have see ourselves as servants. Yeah, I always say I'm a servant to my people. So.
We serve, and then there are initiatives that we lead, and there are initiatives that we follow. So it all depends on because we not only that we have our own organizations, but we are also member of other organization as well. There are times that, you know, if there's a leadership that are doing something and they want us to be a part of, we're part of it. And if there's stuff that we're doing and we take the lead on it, and we take the lead on it as well.
No, but I don't want to sectorize your leadership. I want you to be a national leadership, because I can see, you see, we need people with such passion. You see, the passion that you have, both of you, that's what we need in a leader. Visionary leaders. That's what we need. And I've been fighting for that for a long time. And I said, guys, we need visionary leaders in there. But for you to have it, you don't, it's not you're looking for recognition.
Right.
You do it out of love. And I can see in you. You see, I spoke to you for a couple of minutes. I can see within both of you, you can be served as national leaders. I don't know much about you yet, but I can see what I've seen now. I like it. I like it. So
there are a lot of great leaders in the country too. I think I said there are a lot of great leaders inside Haiti. I believe that there are a lot of great leaders in Haiti. It's just sometimes they may not have voice. And unfortunately, sometimes the people that have the leadership and vision may not be the ones that rise to that actual position.
Sure.
You know, it's not easy to be a leader too, because sometimes we'll deliberately say, like in Washington, you know, people, whenever there's something, either the embassy or people will be like, oh, HRA, why don't you guys do this? HRA. And we're like, our mission states A, you want me to do B, C, D. And sometimes we do it, and sometimes we say, look, other people, there are other great leaders out there in the diaspora. So it's not just us that have to do it. I think part of being a leader is also empowering others to be able to see that they are also a leader, that they are also great, that they also have something to contribute. And that means that sometimes you have to step back to allow them to rise to that position, right? Because what's happening now, if you have this next generation, if you may, you know, my baby brothers and some of the other people in their like 20s, they may go to Haiti and hang out on the beach, but are we fostering a new generation of leaders? I don't know, maybe we are, maybe we're not, but we have to continuously empower new generations to be able to see change, because they're going to come with different perspectives to be able to create that change. And so I think that,
let me chime into that, because there've been a lot of calls or discussion about organizing the diaspora, not just nationally but internationally, to speak in one voice.
Yeah.
It's an interesting concept, but not easily implemented. And the reason why is, like they always say, that you have a lot of chiefs and not you have a lot of chiefs, but not enough Indian. So and that's one issue. When you are, there are I've seen a lot of people in the diaspora that call themselves leaders. And I always tell them, if you call yourself leaders, you also have to be able to follow. Because it's not just you. And also when you call yourself leader, you got to look at who's following you. And the people who are following you have to make a conscious effort and have to be willing to follow. And you yourself as the leader has to be willing also to take that responsibility and to give clear direction as far as what you're leading them to. And a lot of time that's what's lacking, that people don't know where they are being led to. As a result of that, they go out and form their own thing to lead.
Exactly. You see, what you said is so correct, because you see, you said that a lot of leaders in the diaspora, but many times those leaders cannot emerge because they're doing it for recognition.
Yeah.
So the first, as any leader in Haiti, and that's why I can sense in you, you must have passion and love for the country. And many of those leaders don't have that passion. They just want to be recognized. They want to be known. They want to be at the forefront. They want to be the first one to be there. They want to be they want to be in the photo op. They want to be. The leadership in the diaspora is somehow commercialized. It's commercialized, right? Whereby that when somebody want to be a leader in Haiti, you take this as a passion. You said that, okay, that's my country, I'm going to fight for it, and people will follow you no matter what. You see what I mean? And the reason why a lot of those guys feel don't imagine them, because there's no continuity. They start now, and then you can, after a couple of months, you can see the true person in there. You said that they are false leaders. But both of you, talking to you now, you have so much. Your passion is burning, and your passion is burning.
Try not to let it burn the house down.
No, you can translate that burning passion that you have into real leadership, and we need that. We need that in the diaspora. We have to take it at another level. Right now, for example, right now, for example, who's going to be able, who has the agenda to approach Biden, to say, Biden, this is our agenda, this is where the country is? We will have
that question.
If we have a leader.
I actually asked that question before.
Exactly. If we have a leader.
Not after the vote. That's not something you ask after you give away your vote. You ask before you give away.
Exactly.
And I believe, well, look, at the end of the day, one person, I don't believe that one person, unless they're God, I don't believe that one person can be the fate of all people. And I don't believe that anyone should put all of their faith in man. That's just my position.
Okay.
I believe to change Haiti, again, we must all have love of country, love of the people. Of course, God too. I shouldn't say God too, but God first. God, country, self. And the countries that are progressing and moving to the next level do not put self before country.
True.
Period. You can be the most corrupt person and you're like, but you know what? Tout pays gen corruption. Difference is the guy who loves his country is going to say, you know what? Mbagen route, mbagen airport, mbagen this, mbagen that. Instead of taking 10%.
That's correct.
Instead of doing, I'm going to take 90% and give 10% to do the wood.
C'est ça.
Reverse.
C'est ça. Yeah.
And just to add to that,
but
it's
you gotta
not just
love
that.
your country.
Excuse me. Where exemple nous va là, c'est exemple Dominicani.
Exactement.
In fact,
Dominicani, mais c'est ça.
Yeah. Just to add to that, it's not just that. I've seen example in if I have an idea, if I'm not the one implementing it, it's not gonna be implemented.
Sure.
I've seen that happen, where that projects are not being completed or implemented because it's not so and so who's doing it. Therefore, if it's not that person who's doing it, nobody else can do it, and they will not allow anybody else to do it. And that's what my wife is saying, to put country before self.
Have to.
To me, it doesn't matter who does it.
Right.
As long as it gets done. Because at the end of the day, if I say, oh, this is my project, I have to be the one to do it, and this and that, when that, okay, it's my project, but can you implement it? Can you do it? I'll pass it on to you. Because at the end of the day, when it is done, I'm going to be happy because it is in my country. It is done. You're going to be happy. It is my country. So, and I've seen that does a lot of time. And when my wife said to put the country before self, is to remove your self-interest and look at the interest of the country.
That's very true. That's very true. So I think that we're almost at the end of our show. It was real pleasure.
We could talk all night.
Yes, we could talk all night. Yes. It was a very enlightening conversation. I think we should do it again. And before we depart, I would like to know if you have last words like you'd like to place.
Well, one thing that I always say based on our experience, that I've heard that in people, I say that it's really difficult for couple to work together. And I have to tell that it's challenging because it's not just, we have our professional life and we have our passion for HRA. We also have a couple of small businesses that we run too. So we have a very, I shouldn't say busy life, but we have a very active life.
Mm-hmm.
And that I know when to give her space, and she give me my space. I know her strength and I know her weaknesses.
Wow.
My strength and she knows my weaknesses.
Wow.
She knows that when she comes up to me with her brainstorming and this and that, I'm going to take it down and bring it to reality. And she does that to me all the time. She said, well, I'm going to come up with you with a lot of things. So you tell me exactly what I need you. So I always say, okay, babe, it's good. Let me translate that for you.
And he doesn't want to hear all of that. He goes, okay, what is the return on that? He always goes straight to the point. So it forces me to also really realize, okay, if I'm going to present this to him, I need to have the bottom line.
Yeah.
With this, oh, mes amis, la bon belle bagaille, la la la. Because he's okay, nice, okay, and so
and she doesn't take that, and the thing is that she doesn't take that personally. Although
that's nice. That's very nice.
In the beginning, I did, but now I don't.
She always said, well, you kill my boss. But that was me. It's to kill your boss. So as a result of that, and I always say that as a result of that, the package that comes out of it is a really good.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good.
But it takes work.
It takes work.
It takes
that's true. That's
a choice. It is a choice. Love is a choice. Commitment is a choice.
That's true. That's true.
That choice dictates your actions and your words.
Sure.
And your legacy.
That's correct.
Because at the end of the day,
exactly.
You do how you give back to society. It's a legacy you leave.
It's a legacy. That's correct. That's true.
To look forward. And so that's why I think I'm idealistic, because for me, it's about looking forward.
That's good. That's good.
And you just, I don't know. It's anyway.
But it's your relationship is so beautiful. I love the way you put it, that you know her strength, you know her weaknesses, and she knows your strength, she knows your weaknesses, and both of you complement each other. And that's a beautiful thing on jour d'amour qui All right, guys, it was a pleasure to having you,
Mona,
and I'll see you again.
Mona.
Yes. Where's Mona Lisa? Anyway.
Rubies.
Yeah, but
you on mute, Mona.
I apologize. I simply wanted to come back to thank Dr. Benoit for such a job well done. Yes. It was his time. I don't want to steal his spotlight because let me tell you, I knew it was going to be a perfect match. I was sitting there smiling throughout the whole time, listening to the dialogue, and trust me, talk about meetings of the mind. I know this would have been the perfect setting for you guys to have this interview. I'm telling you, because Dr. Benoit is son malade, white, malade diaspora. I'm telling you. Li tellement malade parfois li même a joué li même kon pièce la jouer it's like how could Haiti be in the state that it's in where the minds are very much alike.
She's like crack.
yes it's like the four of us are we're in the same realm when it comes to Haiti, our passion, our level of engagement. Dr. Benoit would give the last dime in his pocket for Haiti. I'm telling you, he loves young people. He's willing to invest, and it's like he would do whatever it takes, just like you guys. So I'm glad that, not only you met, not just on the Mojo, but outside of the Mojo, that we're creating this network of Haitians, who's got the brain, who's got the talent. His daughter is also a doctor. He raised a doctor, okay? And he raised two beautiful children that are worthy of praises. And I call them our role model for the current generation. But these are people who've been building legacies just like you guys. And it's a pleasure. I mean, for me, Mona Lisa, to call myself your friends, to call myself your colleagues, to work with you guys. It's an honor, it's a pleasure. You guys know my level of passion and dedication, and we're all on the same wavelength. So it's like fire here. And Maggie, I heard you.
Mona Lisa, I could have stayed here all night talking to them. I'm telling you.
Oh, I know.
It was so interesting.
The only thing is, no, you're there. She answer, Monsieur, Madame, the doctor. Hey, doctor, he has his life too. So I had to come and make sure, I get you off the hook, because you have a life, and we do respect that. It's Valentine's Day. You deserve to celebrate with your significant other. But I have no words, to express the joy that I'm feeling today, the love, and I feel the love, to have had the two previous couples, on the show. My son was on the show with his significant other. Ludin Joe was on the show. It's really a pleasure for me to celebrate Valentine's Day with you. I don't feel alone because I have you guys, in my life. I don't need a husband right now. You guys are my family. You're my friends. You've been there for COVID. And I get on the phone. I'm like, Dr. B, you know what? I'm not having a good day. I'm very depressed. But he's like, Mona Lisa, you got this. Don't worry. You're going to be just fine. Few men every day is calling me, Mona Lisa, did you wake up? Get out of bed. Just get up. You got to carry on. You got work to do. You're a soldier. Come on. I believe in you. Do it.
Right. That's right.
And that's what they'll tell me the same thing. It's like, Mona Lisa, go outside, go for a walk, go get a fresh air. Mag would do the same thing. Mag is like, Mona Lisa,
there's work to do.
There's work to do. So, there's so much.
And there's something that I want to add to that. It's like, we work together and we do a lot of things together, and we keep each other in check respectfully.
That's good.
And it's all about, it's like me and Mona Lisa, we go back and forth. It's all about the work. It's all about the work. And no. This is what needs to be done. We can disagree on the color of a flyer. The flyer
yes.
out.
Yes.
Right, Mona?
We have a survey going around the Diaspora, Doc, for different organizations, and we didn't even get a chance to get into that. The scope of work that these two do, I don't know why they're like being so shy and not really talk about their contribution in terms of economic development. They were the first to organize a forum for presidential candidates in Washington, Doc. I know they didn't tell you that, but yeah, they did. Trust me, there's a whole lot that they do.
So HRA, we're avid. So our mission is to promote business development.
So if you go on the website, Doc, you will see HRA's Haiti Renewal Alliance. You'll see what you know how you recognize the website, because my picture's on there.
In fact, Dr. Benoit, that I have to tell you that we used to do the HRA Business Investment Expo and Conference to bring investors to look at investment opportunity in Haiti. The State Department always support us. And there was a time that Tom Adams was making a speech, and he is on their assessment, our effort has brought more investment in Haiti than any other effort that they've seen.
Wow.
I don't know if you've heard of Creole Essence.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of small businesses
all over.
One of our crown jewel is Creole Essence that started its infancy with us, and now that is like a multi-million dollars business.
Wow.
So we didn't even talk about that aspect.
Wow.
We were talking about love of countries. So
that's good. That's great. But that's where it starts.
Yes.
Thank you. But thank you for having Haiti, in your hearts. And I'm speaking to all of you when it comes to that, because I'm truly passionate about Haiti. And if I were to close my eyes tonight, I would leave with no regrets, knowing that even my children will be able to carry on, because they know where my heart was. They know what my wishes are. And it's even part of my will. So they know. In terms of a scholarship fund, I recently started my own foundation, the Fuji Foundation. It's the Foundation for the Emancipation of Girls and Women. I've been doing a lot of work with women on the ground, but I would not have done it without the support of Magali and Furman, because if I say I need X, Y, Z, by the time I finish the sentence, there's some type of money being wired to my account. And they don't care. They're not worrying about, is Mona Lisa gonna do? They know I'm working, because we go down to Haiti together. They know, there's evidence of the work, and Dr. B, it's the same for you. I think many times I'm saying, Doc, it's okay. I'm being shy. Like, don't be shy. If you need anything, Mona Lisa, let me know. And you always say, Dr. Benoit, and I truly appreciate you for that. But I hope this is not our last conversation that we're going to continue.
No, it's not. It's not. Definitely not.
Out of the Mojo, we can carry on with this conversation. So if it's okay with you, we'll exchange numbers.
Sure, no problem. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Definitely.
So thank you so much for your time, sir.
Thank you, Dr.
Okay. Happy Valentine to you guys.
Yes,
thank you.
To you.
Okay. Good night.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you on the 2nd of March. With Health Matters with Dr. Benoit. This time around, I've been promised you Dr. Benoit number 2 is going to be here. Next month for Women History Month, she will be here.
She'll be here.
On that show. Thank you, Dr. Benoit, for your time. We appreciate you. We'll see you next time.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
I never found someone like you.